Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my Spiderman, the city that never sleeps, blind playthrough, and we are in DLC number 2, also called Turf Wars. Sorry, suffered a brain fart there for a second, and while we're out swinging, let's take out a crime, shall we?
Little Miles. Why, what's up?
Help our boys in blue.
People around here work. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Things have been
I really like the fact when you manage to get the drop on these guys. It feels so satisfying.
Come with me. Where?
Not a big fan though of when they kick my ass. You are not allowed to do so, good sauce. Okay.
I think it's a bit too soon
Kick
for that,
his
Miles.
ass with a finisher,
Definitely appreciate the offer.
and then we'll finish his friend.
It's not like the movies, you know? You can get seriously hurt. There's some pretty bad dudes on the streets right now. Well, I gotta learn somehow. I know. We'll get together soon, okay? I promise.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Teens make me feel ancient.
There we go. A Magia. Ooh. How is supposed to translate that? Magia Brawl? Is probably somewhat correct term. But either way, I'm very impressed with Spider-Man and the fact this dude's cardio is off the charts. Because having the capacity to have a talk with Miles over his spider phone or mobile phone or whatever it is he uses to communicate, while kicking the ass of a number of thugs to be named later. That is impressive to say the least.
Eyes up for armed hammerhead hostiles along transport routes.
Armed hostiles? Not for long.
Alright. So we're doing a little escort mission, eh? Not a big fan of those, because it means I have to adjust my pace to these slow ass trucks. And when I move across the city, as you have seen throughout these videos, I like to be quick. Ow.
There. That should get things moving again.
Did he fall down?
Snipers all along the convoy route. A shooting gallery. I need to push ahead and clear the way.
Alright. Let's take out the uglies. Hopefully without getting shot to bits myself.
You got a death wish, huh?
No, but you do.
Line them up and knock them down.
Was there
Easy
one
peasy,
more?
lemon squeezy.
No?
Routes clear. Let's move.
What is it with
Alright,
guys like
which
him that always
direction are
wanted
you
to
fellas
fight?
gonna head?
Probably has something to do with not having a binky when he was a baby.
And while we're out cruising around this city, protecting this convoy, we go into a cutscene. Hey, it's those shredder things again.
Keep the stable tech contained.
Okay, boys.
Surprise, surprisers! Surprisers? Oh yeah, it's a word now. Hammerhead must have a moral
Hell yes,
part
it
in
is.
feeding him
Surprisers
info on the
is
convoy
definitely a word. The amount of times I have invented words, most likely during the creation of my videos, are quite a few. So I completely respect the invention of new words in video games. I think we should invent even more. Well, that's the thing. When this is something I have probably mentioned quite a few times over the past 4 years that I've been doing this.
No, that's it. I'm going with Dig Boys. That's what they're called now.
What do you call them? Dick boys? Ow. Okay. I can respect that terminology because that was a dick move. Take out Tubbo and his minigun. Whoopsie daisies. Let's see. Electric webbing is quite effective against those guys because they can't break free of that. And that dude is getting way too frisky with his rocket launcher. And it's like this, we all know this by now. If you can't play nice, you don't get to keep your toys. Just hang around for a little while.
Got him. The police can keep
There we
the
go.
Sable Tech safe.
All units, situation developing near the mayor's compound. Something's coming out of the ground. We need backup. Repeat, assistance requested.
So much for all clear. Time to move.
Okay, so we're done. Either way,
Feels like Hammerhead's gone
the
to war
subject
against the
I was
police.
trying to get
Yuri's
into
working
as
herself to
things
the
started
bone.
hitting all
I know
kinds
she
of
cares about
fans
her men. She's
was
gotta learn not to
the
shoulder
other
that
night I
responsibility.
watched Sonic the
Says the king of
Hedgehog, the
shouldering
movie
too
that
much
came out, was
responsibility.
last year with Jim Carrey, and I'm not gonna say that I was disappointed in it because I really didn't have any expectations going into the movie. And as far as video game, ooh, can I stealth?
Man, don't you guys hate these things?
Oh yes, I stealth knocked his ass. Yes, as far as movie adaptations of video games goes,
You got it.
it was decent. It felt more like a kids movie.
You guys know the cops have radios, right?
Like,
Ambushes don't stay
you know,
secret for long.
there are like family entertainment movies
Yeah, no. I'm sure this
where
Sable Tech is
both
gonna serve
adults
you
and
really
kids
well
can
in
enjoy
prison.
them, like Shrek. I think that is a great movie. And then there are movies that are more kids, more aimed at kids. And this felt like one of those. It was a bit too
You ever gonna run out of those deep
childish. And that may seem like a weird complaint to have, because it is. I'm not gonna say a kids game, because at least the old Sonic games are way too fucking hard to be kids games. I have never managed to beat any of those games, even though I must admit that I haven't tried my hardest, and I have barely played them as an adult. But on the subject, it was an okay movie. It wasn't bad, but it's not something I will rewatch. But I want to talk a little bit about when they try to translate video games into movies. That is something that has been done quite a few times over the years with varying results, to put it lightly. And for anyone who has watched a lot of movie adaptations of video games, you know that more often than not, they end up, how should I phrase this? Lacking.
No, they're
And I
running
don't
the
know
Sable Tech.
why
I've gotta keep this off Yuri's plate.
it always
I can handle it.
ends up like that, or almost always. There are some exceptions to that rule, but I will talk more about that later. And yes, as I was saying, it feels like they're either trying too hard or not enough. And the funny thing is, I've been talking so much right now, so I'm not quite sure why I am tailing that truck. I think the bad guy stole it. That could be it. Yes, must be bad guys.
Here's your stuff.
Yes, as I was saying, sometimes they're trying too hard to make it just like the video game. And sometimes it feels like they're not trying at all.
One more. Better hurry.
Like, and the movie that has, I think, been deemed the worst movie adaptation, or in general, I'm gonna say, just to cover my own butt a bit, is Super Mario Brothers. And I am willing to agree that that is a shit movie. I liked it as a kid. I can't remember when it came out. It was somewhere in the early 90s. I think I was like 10 or 11 when it came out. May have been younger. Don't think I was older, at least. But it had entertaining elements. It had nothing to do with its source material, except for like the names of the characters. Because in that movie, like,
Yuri, good timing. I just
the meteorite that wiped out the dinosaurs didn't really wipe them out. It created a
no.
separate, almost cyberpunky universe where humans are living that have evolved from dinosaurs instead of monkeys.
Distracting me from Hammerhead's real target.
But
Need
it
to get to
does,
Yuri.
if you like look away from the fact that it's
Oh,
trying to
Sable
be
Tech was out of there.
based
Yuri
on
sounds
Super
okay.
Mario games,
Physically.
it does have
I know she's tough.
a
but everyone has a
small
breaking
level
point.
of entertainment, at least at times. And when I was a kid, I was super jealous of their jetpack boots. The ones that run on, I think it's batteries that look like bullet bills. Yeah, and if you go into IMDb and read up on that movie, it was a shitfest to record. Apparently, John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins, the guys that played Luigi and Mario, in the end, they were just like drunk because they didn't care anymore. The script went through rewrites almost every day, and yeah. If you haven't seen the movie, don't check it out.
I'm so sorry, Yuri. I should have been here.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
But there are worse
Going
ones,
straight for the cases
like
marked
House of the
Project
Dead,
Olympus.
Any idea what that is?
or
No,
Dead or
He
Alive.
has it now.
And we'll get him.
Street Fighter is also one of those
To teach
movies
a
that
lesson
people
in
love
fear.
to hate.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
And I can definitely understand why.
You
It's
can move, or I can arrest
that movie is not even entertaining. But there
we need to
are
work
some
together.
some
you. You need to stay
exceptions
the hell out of my
to
way.
that rule of horrible movie adaptations. And I would say my absolute favorite movie adaptation of
This
a
could
video
not
game
possibly end well.
is Silent Hill. The first one, not the second one. The second one was horrendous. But the first one, I
I
felt
can't believe how badly I've screwed this up.
it really managed
I
to
need to find Hammerhead
grab the
before she does.
feeling of the game and
My
translate
leads
it
are dead.
into a movie.
Maybe
Trophy,
set
the
a
Thin Blue
keyword check on
Line.
the policeman. Hope for some mention of Hammerhead or the
And
Russian.
I love the fact that they actually brought in
While I wait,
Pyramid
I should
Head
hit the streets.
for that
See
movie,
what else
and
Hammerhead's better
he is fucking scary. He is scary as hell in Silent Hill 2, which is the only game he's featured in, I think.
Priority alert.
And if you are a purist,
Incident is active. Near Carnegie Hall.
let's see, what are we doing? Am I supposed to go here? I think I am. Maybe not. Let's try it out.
Going down.
Either way, what I was talking about. Silent Hill, yes. Because if you're a purist, you will know that Pyramid Head has nothing to do in the movie. Or has nothing to do. He does have lots of things to do. He kills people.
MJ, made it to Hammerhead's Upper East
Let's
Side
see.
warehouse.
Perform
I'm
10
betting he
attacks
doesn't
from
ship
walls
his online
and
shop orders out
something
here.
else. I
Lots of guys
have to...
just casually wandering around.
Yeah, place is locked down. But
yeah,
not for
whatever.
long.
I'm ready for anything you find. Keep me in the loop.
Sounds like a plan.
But he is linked
Moving and
to...
stable stuff around's got me beat.
I think his name is James Sunderland.
I feel like I'm getting shafted. Huh?
Shit.
Better check that out. You got me.
That somehow worked. That is good to know. Yes, he is directly connected to James in the second game. And he is like a manifestation, 15 swing kicks, of James' hate towards his wife or something like that. Can't really remember. But he is a great movie antagonist, so I'm really happy they included him in the movie. And I pressed the wrong button, but it's okay because I saved it. So we just yoink. And also Mortal Kombat. That is a bit why this subject feels quite relevant, was the word that almost got away from me. Because there has been a new, or there is a new Mortal Kombat movie, just came out. I was hoping that it would be on HBO, because I think it's on HBO Max in America. Hasn't reached Sweden yet, bit sad, and since cinemas are still closed, I'm hoping very much that it will be up on some kind of streaming service soon, because I am really psyched to see that movie. Shit.
And here I thought you guys were just using this warehouse to distribute Hammerhead's handmade crafts.
Because I must admit, a lot of people may not agree with me on this, and that is absolutely okay, and feel free to do so. I would love to hear your opinions down in the comments. But I think that Mortal Kombat movie that came out in 1995, the original one, I like that movie. Because I think it's too PG for its subject. Because it's Mortal Kombat. It's one of the most violent fighting games ever. Except for maybe like Thrill Kill, which is a game that never got an official release. Which is sad. It was supposed to come out on PlayStation 1. But it was stopped just before release. I don't know why. I think it was that it was deemed too violent. And I can understand that, actually. Or in a sense I can't, because I think it's still just a video game. But it's like Mortal Kombat meets Hellraiser meets the Gimp from Pulp Fiction, and everything is super weird. And it's quite interesting because from what I remember, I know a friend of mine had a game, because it was stopped when it was basically finished. Shit. So I think he downloaded it, and I played it over at his place. And what's interesting with it is that when you're fighting, it's instead of just two characters fighting like it usually is in in that type of game, there are 4 characters fighting at once. So it's an all-out brawl. And I don't think you can turn that off. That is just the way the game works. And that's an interesting take on the whole fighting game concept. Okay, I am so fed up with this rocket launcher guy. I'm gonna kick his ass before I do anything else. Yeah, you can lie there on the lift and think about what you did, asshole. Either way. Yes, Mortal Kombat, the movie from 1995. I thought it was really entertaining. And the fight in between Johnny Cage and Scorpion, to this day, I really like that fight. Especially when they go into, what should you call it, hell? Because there is a heaviness to the fight. And Scorpion and Sub-Zero are, I think they're almost everyone's favorite in that game series. Because they are badass. They have always been badass. And I think they are surprisingly well made. Only problem, I don't know if I've said it already. Then if I have, I'm sorry for repeating myself. But I think the movie is too PG. It should have been a lot more brutal, but from what I've heard about this new movie that's just come out, they have really they have redeemed themselves when it comes to that. So I'm hoping I will be able to see it soon, either in cinema or like rent it online, or because in Sweden there is a streaming service called SF Anytime, or Swedish Film Anytime or something. SF is the company that owns most cinemas in Sweden. So you can like rent movies there. So, oh dear God, what is it with these rocket launcher guys? Let's see. There's the rocket launcher guy. I respect a person that takes pride in his work. But these fellas... And also, we're in an enclosed area. Like, I talked about the fact that I played, or I finished. Now that's a fail, fellas. I like the fact that I still love that enemies can put each other through friendly fire here. But yes, I talked recently about the fact that I played or finished playing Fallout 4. And I had an incident there in those games. If you haven't played the Fallout series, shit. There is a weapon called Fat Man, and it launches what's called mini nukes, which is a devastating weapon. And one guy shot me in the face in a very close quarter and basically killed us both. And it almost feels like these rocket launcher guys do the same thing. But since I failed and we're almost at 25 minutes, I'm actually gonna end this episode right here. I'm gonna take another stab at this in the next one. But I want to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. So until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.